Hi there, my name is Hannah Taylor and I'm the ASCSU president for this year, and we're back with another Fireside chat for the month of March.
And I'm Noah Schindler, the ASCSU vice president.
So we have an update from our academics department. I'm working with Deputy Director of Academics Sydney Budke to create a proposal for faculty council where we're standardizing the plus-minus system. And so currently for multi-section courses, if you're taking a class with one professor and your friend's taking a class with another professor, the professor that you're taking a class with could use plus-minus, while the professor that your friend's the professor that your friend is taking the class with could not use plus minus, and so it creates indiscrepancies between classes within departments, and so we want to standardize that. And then we also want to create a system where with the A plus it gives a 4.3 rather than just a 4.0, since if you receive an A minus you get a 3.67, or removing an A minus, and so if you get an A, you just remain as a 4.0. So we're currently working with the chair of faculty council and committees to try and see what those options are. We've presented to associate deans. We ran that idea by deans the other day while meeting with them during our cabinet meeting, and we've also presented at faculty council. And so that project's in motion, and we're optimistic that it'll work out by the end of the year.
BSOF will be voting this week on whether they can use funds for Rams Against Hunger, as well as a celebration for seniors on Monday.
Yeah, and then I'll talk a little bit about our mental health week that we put on this week. Our Deputy Director of Health, Bryce Hill, put out 1,100 ribbons in the Sculpture Land Gardens in honor of 1,100 students each year that commit suicide. And so the 1,100 ribbons served as a memorial for those students. So, and I believe that the picture will show it. Great. And now, Noah, do you want to talk about our apartment complex and landlord review system?
Yeah, so Hannah and I discussed it throughout our campaign, as well as during our first Fireside chat here, that we had a deep desire to create a student-only review system for off-campus housing, whether that's apartments or houses, that require a student to enter their RAM ID in order to write a review, so that students know that they're not getting a review from a landowner or a building manager who's incentivized their current tenants to write a fake or embellished review on their apartment, so that we as individuals and students here at CSU understand what we're walking into before we sign a lease.
Yeah. And we have some exciting news when it comes to our housing affordability efforts. So I've been working with our Department of State and Local Policy and meeting with city staff throughout the year. And we've been talking about what the options are, whether it's eliminating U+2 or implementing more programs to protect renters. And so one of the things that was passed within the housing policy by the City Council was to create a task force and do some research as far as what populations in Fort Collins are impacted by our occupancy limits. And so members of city staff are funding a research study conducted by a research firm that's going to look into what populations in Fort Collins are impacted by occupancy limits. And we decided to contribute $5,000 to the study and also add an addition that includes putting in a solution if we were to get rid of U+2. And so the research will look into what U+2 currently does, but we're also going to have them research what the best option for renters are, whether that's rental registration, Me+3, right-size housing. And so we're really excited about that. And they will be presenting that study with city staff early in the academic year next year. And so we're really optimistic that once all of the research comes back, then some action will take place. Noah, do you want to give an SFRB update?
Yeah, you know, as far as I've heard, most students don't want to be paying more in student fees during the pandemic. We've all been forced into this online platform, so it's been really nice to see that SFRB so far hasn't passed any costs other than those required by the state government for administrative pay increases. We're currently waiting on a decision from the board for the renovation of the LSC to expand the adult learners and veteran services space within the building, as well as updating some of the heating and cooling there. And we'll have an update for you next month on that.
Yeah. And campaigning is going on for ASCSU, which is crazy because it feels like yesterday that Noah and I found out that we won the election. So it's crazy, but it's been going on for the entire month of March. And voting will be going on, I believe, March 30th, March 31st, and April 1st to vote on the ASCSU president and vice president for next year, and also the Speaker of the Senate, and then senators from each college. But I believe that's all from us for today. Thank you all so much for listening in.
Another point on that, too, is if you'd like to see more about those candidates, please go on ASCSU's Instagram or scroll through CTV's videos. I know they have a bunch of interviews with those candidates, and we would really appreciate you going out and understanding what their stances are before you vote.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. That is definitely a good point. And they will have debates at the end of March as well to watch. So,
Thank you all. See you next month.
Thanks.